Hello, everyone. I'm back. Sorry, it's been a couple longer than expected. It's just been busy. I'm trying to stay on a routine with this. So I'm going to continue showing my collection today. Uh, Today's showing is going to be some of my non Red Sox players. A couple players that I found to be interesting and not many people heard of. Well, one's starting to become more popular, but the other one hasn't um, heard of in a while. So, and I'm collecting him for my grandson. Because when I went out there the first time out to Spokane, Washington, I saw the first time I saw the Spokane Indians play. I went to check out their Hall of Fame, and this player happened to be on their in the Hall of Fame. Not only the baseball Hall of Fame, but the Spokane Indians Hall of Fame. And turned out he was one of the great spitball pitchers, or well, knuckleball. It might be knuckleball. Sorry, it might be a knuckleball. I think it's knuckleball. Pitchers from back in the 50s. So, in the 60s. So I'm going to show you his, and then another player that I recently learned about that has a history too. So these are some of my non-Boston Red Sox players that I'm going to show you. That's part of my collection right now. So the person I'm going to start off with is that person that was a Spokane Indian, and was a major leaguer in the 50s and 60s. His name is Hoyt Wilhelm. He was a pitcher. He pitched for the New York Giants. He pitched for the Cleveland Indians and a couple other teams. So the first one I have is a 1954 Topps Hoyt Wilhelm SGC1. Looking at it, it's close. I like this portrait. I find out his cards are they look really cool, and corners. Oh, there's something about this card that I do like this card a lot. Actually, this was my first Hoyt Wilhelm, and I like this card. This card actually got me into collecting him. Besides learning about him with the Hall of Fame. So you can see the off centering. See the corners are a little soft, but overall, I mean, it's to me that's great. It's a really good one. I mean, you got this discoloration over here. You got obviously the corners. You got some of the name. Yeah, I think it was the knuckleball. He was famous for the knuckleball. So one of the pitchers, he was one of the pitchers that were famous for his knuckleball. It wasn't a spitball, it was a knuckle. So there's one. My next one is a Hoyt Wilhelm. This is 1958 Topps SGC1. Nice portrait. When he's with the Cleveland Indians. Corners. Centering is a little left and right. It's a little left heavy. But it's not that bad. Actually, I think it's a really nice one. But again, you got the corners a little rounded. You turn it, you can see some crease marks right there. Right there. Some indentations. The back, you can definitely tell is all centered. By left and right, it's more right heavy. Yeah. Barrage of knuckleballers. So, there's the 1958 Hoyt Wilhelm. Sorry. Next is some non-graded cards I have of his that eventually I'm going to get graded. First one is a 1963 Topps Hoyt Wilhelm. It's a little top-bottom heavy. It's a little top heavy. Corners aren't that bad, but you know they're gonna find a little. Maybe they're maybe a little soft, maybe a little rounded. You can definitely tell the centering on the back. Yep, knuckleball. See all the teams she was with. There's the New York Giants, St. Louis Cardinals, Cleveland, Baltimore, Orioles. So this is him with the Baltimore Orioles. Again, he was played for the Spokane Indians. That's why I started collecting them when I found out about him. And then I just read more about him being a Hall of Famer and all that. My next one is 1964 Topps. You can tell this one's rounded corners. Edges are a little messed up. Got some discoloration right up in the corner there. Like I said, eventually these are going to get graded, just so I have them graded. In the back you can really see it along some paper loss along the corners and edges. So, but the next one is the 1966 Topps Hoyt Wilhelm. And this one you can see corners. It's a little off center on the top and bottom and left and right. It's more heavy on the top, more heavy on the right hand side. But it's not a bad pose or position, not a bad pose. Here's the back. This is when he was with the White Sox. Next one is 1969 Topps Hoyt Wilhelm, and he's with the Angels. I'll stand by a second. Fix this a little bit. There we go. 1969. You can see little bottom heavy. It's a little centering as well up a little bit. A little right heavy, but not that much. Corners looking okay, except for this one. This one's a little, looks like it's a little soft. This one's a little, this one maybe a little indented. There's an indent along the top here. But it doesn't look overall that bad. It's a portrait. Here's the back. You can definitely tell the off center in the back, with the top and bottom, left and right. Right heavy. Looks like bottom heavy for the back wise. There's the back. And this is the 69 tops. I like to try to get his 52 if I can. Next one is his 1968 tops. Hoyt Wilhelm was with the White Sox. This is bright and top heavy. Don't mind it. That's a price sticker on the outside of the case here, of this case. So don't mind this. That's just the glue. That's all that is. That's just the glue on this case. But she's top and right heavy. She's got, as you can see, a little corner issue, some corner issues, some paper loss, softening, some creases. You can see along the bottom here. But so it'd probably get a 1. But it's not a bad card overall, actually. I think that might be the same thing too. Yeah, that's on the case. That's on this case. You can see the off-centering. You can see the creases on the corners a little bit. And then bending. And it's not from this. These were pre-existing before I got the card. Some of those defects were there. And I didn't add any of those to the card. So again, that's my 1968. Just put that one right there. My next is, again, the case is going to have some sticker glue on it, so it's not the card. There's a 59 tops Hoyt Wilhelm. It's got a little bit of soft corners. Got a little bit of soft corners. Top and you can definitely tell it's off center from left and right. Right heavy. Top and bottom looks like it may be a little bit more bottom heavy, but this is when he was with the Orioles. Not a bad, decent card as far as design. Like I said, it's a 59. So eventually I'm going to get these graded. The next one is the sorry, I'm really bad with ears. I think this is like a 60. I'm not sure. I'm bad with the ears, especially when they don't put the ears there. The stats is a little. I believe this is a 60. Correct. People correct me if I'm wrong. Hoyt Wilhelm. I can tell you actually in a second. Stand by. $59. So this is 60. So this is a 60 card. I was right. It was 1960. Sorry about that. I have to look up stuff to make sure I'm right. This is a 1960 card tops. You can tell it's left and right, off centered, top bottom off centered, so it's left and bottom heavy. Corners, you can tell, are a little soft. There's some indentation on the side right there. But it's left heavy and bottom heavy. I like these duals. These duals are pretty cool. They don't have many of those out. And here's the back. Definitely tell where the centering is off. See, they just confuse me when they're only like 1 year stats and it doesn't say the year. Yeah, I get confused sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Just so many sets to remember in their designs. I tend to, get some screwed up. My brother knows the sets a lot better than I do. So, there's my Hoyt Wilhelms. Next player I got that I started collecting, I got a couple cards on. It's only 5 cards. They're all graded. I learned about him from another collector, and then a couple other collectors started collecting them, and then I learned about him, and I saw his cards, and I'm like started getting them, and I initially started collecting him from one of my nephews, but then I'm like, we'll see. Then I started liking them, so I mean, I'll probably eventually go to my nephews, but we'll see. Is Ernie Banks. So my first one is his 1957 Topps SGC 5 Ernie Banks. It's definitely off center. It's right heavy and bottom heavy. Nice color. Nice color for a 57. I like that pose. That pose is pretty cool. I like just the style of just the design of the card. That's definitely a nice pose. Ernie Banks falls in one of those ones with Jackie Robinson and all that about African Americans bringing the Negro League and everything into more light by integration into the MLB. She was really, really good. There was also a Yankee catcher that was backup to Yogi Berra. My brother would know him, and some of you guys might know him. I can't think of his name right now. I want to say Ernest Howard or something like that. Me not being a Yankees fan, my brother would know who he is because my brother's a Yankees fan. But yeah, there's my 1957 Topps Ernie Banks. Really, really awesome looking card. My next is the 1959 Topps Ernie Banks SGC 1. Obviously off-centered, top and right heavy. Mostly right heavy. got a crease. You can see the crease right along here. Rounded corners. Another good position. You can see the roundness and the softness of the corners. But definitely, like, more I learn about some of these players. It's like, So I'm liking some of these cards that I'm collecting. The next one is the 1962 Topps Ernie Banks. It's SGC 4.5. Like these wood, I like the wood type frames. That's a great picture of Ernie Banks. Great portrait picture of Ernie Banks. Like all three of these, all the cards I have, they're really, I think they're really good portrayals of Ernie Banks. This is 62 Topps, 4.5 SGC. Corners, a little soft. It's definitely off center, you can tell. Soft corners. The back, you can definitely see top, bottom, off center. You can definitely see the corners a little bit better. He was definitely one of the history. So definitely would do a good report on it for any kids that in school. You got your Jackie Robinsons. You got Yankee backup catcher, the Yogi Berra. I keep forgetting his name. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. I just keep forgetting his name. You just got a lot of old time greats that a lot of these kids today haven't really learned about back when their grandfathers and their great grandfathers were kids. That's how, like, I really got into Collier Skremski, and I like Ted Williams. They were my dad's heroes, and my dad would talk about them. And then I grew up liking Roger Clemens and Wade Boggs, and when they were with the Red Sox, Mike Greenwell, Spike Owen, all them. So my next one is an Ernie Banks 1966 Topps 2.5. Again, great portrait of him. Definitely top heavy, definitely right heavy. Registration might be a little off right there. Definitely soft corners. But still, that's great picture of Ernie Banks. Great picture of Ernie Banks. And here's the back. You can tell off the off center with the top and bottoms from the front on the back. And I love these little history facts about the players. That's not bad, 2.5. And then my last one I have Ernie Banks right now is the 1971 Kellogg's 3D Superstars that I found at a flea market house where I live. I was like, oh, snap. Because I started getting into Ernie Banks. So it's the 1971 Kellogg's 3D Superstars Ernie Banks SGC1. It's got some rounded corners. Centering's not that bad, but what gets a lot of it is the actual 3D coating that's on it. You can see that it's cracked, chipped, and that's just because over time that it's just cracked and chipped, and that hurts the cards grading a lot. But a lot of these cards are like that. Their 3D coating is bad. My brother's got a Pete Rose. Here's the back. Again, you can see the corners a little soft. It's got some discoloration. But it's not that bad of a card. I like it. So there's some of my non-Redsox collectible cards I'm collecting. And I think I'm going to continue collecting some of those guys. Just because I find them interesting. Like I said, Wilhelm, I initially thought it was a spitball, but it's not. It was a knuckleball, so I knew it was between one of the two. And I'm going to do some more research on these guys. And the Ernie Banks, I like the design of his cards. And I learned more about him, how, he's just not appreciated as much as he should be. Like I said, that card I really like. Right now, if I had to pick out of these 5 cards, I like that one. I do like all 5 cards, but if I had to pick, it would be that one. It would be my favorite. So, alright, well, thank you for being with me, and I'm sorry again that it took a little longer than I usually do. But glad you were able to, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a safe day.